Hello, I'm Kim Townend. I am a social media strategist. I've been doing the job for almost 20 years. I've been using social listening in my social strategies for 10, 15 years now. And these days, the job that I do is more about finding social media insights through social media listening and understanding how we can apply those to social media and beyond, how we can use social insights to understand the bigger cultural shifts that are taking place. So today I am going to take you through how I use Next Atlas's persona generator agent to help me understand more about the specifics of the audience that I cannot find specific data on through social listening. So today I'm going to be looking at an audience of avid readers, reading enthusiasts. I'm currently doing a social listening deep dive into book talk, and I'm going to use this data from Next Atlas to kind of plug any holes outside of the TikTok spectrum to help me understand more about that broader audience. So the first thing that I do is the same as with the other Generate projects you may have seen me walk through, is to start really broad so I can then narrow down. And one of the things that Next Atlas Generate does is it gives me a couple of options for different personas, so I'm able to pick and choose. I asked Next Atlas to generate me a persona for a really engaged reader. I wasn't any more specific than that. I didn't put ages or territories or anything else in, and these are the two options that it's given me. It's given me Emma, that is calling the bookworm enthusiast, who's 28 and single and living in London, who's an editorial assistant. And it's also given me Tom, who is the analytical reader, a data scientist from New York who's married. You can also see what Next Atlas have based this data on, so I can see where the data is coming from, which helps me understand a little bit more about how they've put the persona together, which actually makes me feel a lot better about the situation than using, say, another AI tool. So I want to chat with Emma initially to understand more about what she's interested in, because she feels a bit more aligned with the audience that I am looking for outside of Book Talk. So I'm just going to click chat with Emma. And the first thing that I can do, I mean, I can start talking to Emma straight away, but I'm able to generate Emma's week, which is really useful as an upfront thing to help me understand more about who Emma is, what her hobbies are, what she does with her time. She gives me a good way in to start asking more questions. So I'm able to see like what she's likely to do when, that she's a creative person, what she's doing socially, and that relaxation and outdoor time is important to her. So other things that I might ask her here are, how many books did you read last year? And she's responding immediately, telling me how many books she read, 42, and what types of books she was reading, how she decides what she's going to read. Now I'm asking which social platforms are more important to her to see if this aligns with what I understand through the rest of my data. So she's saying that Goodreads is super important to her, and she also uses Instagram to follow Bookstagram accounts, and she's using Twitter as well, which is very aligned with the gap in my data, which was obviously very TikTok focused because I was doing a Book Talk report. So I'm going to ask her, are there any apps that you're using for your reading habit? So yeah, she's saying that she uses Goodreads, and she's a Kindle person, and Audible is something that she uses as well. Are there any online communities outside of Goodreads that you engage with. So yeah, she's saying that she uses Reddit, some specific subreddits, why she's using Instagram for Bookstagram, and book clubs on Facebook. What are some of your favourite genres? So here I've asked about her favourite genres, and she's explaining what they are and why she's interested in them. This actually also holds quite true to the data that I've seen on BookTok as to women of this age who live in London. So that makes me feel, again, good, and like my data is aligned and that this is a trustworthy persona generator. And now I might ask something like, what was your favourite book of last year? Might spell that correctly as well. So she's telling me that Circe was a favourite book of last year and explaining why. When do you mostly read for fun? So this response rings very true. She's reading in the evenings after work, and she likes weekends, but especially into gloomy weather and cozying up with a novel. So that was a really good persona. I've got a good feel of who Emma is, what she does for fun, when she reads, what her favourite genres are, the social platform she's on. This is helping me get a good idea of like who Emma is as a person, and as I said, it aligns quite well with what I have learned during my BookTok research. And now we're just gonna look at the other completely different reader who is in no way affiliated with BookTok, Tom, the data scientist from New York. So immediately looking at Tom and having generated Tom's week, we can see that Tom is clearly also a bit of a tech bro who is interested in gym workouts and healthy meals, but also spending time with his family. We can see that he is also an outdoor adventures and a relax and unwind kind of guy on the weekend. So I've then asked what motivates Tom to read, to understand a bit more about the motivations and the behaviours for this guy. So I'm understanding that as a data scientist, he's really all about expanding his knowledge base and looking for intellectual growth. He's not a fiction guy, really, but he does like book clubs and getting into discussions with other people about the books he's read. I've asked if he ever reads fiction, because obviously that's kind of my area of interest. And he says that he does enjoy reading fiction from time to time, but he's very much about strong characters that challenge his analytical mind. So then I wanted to understand how often Tom was reading for fun. And here we see that he's only reading a couple of days a week recreationally, because so much of his time at work is spent reading. So now I'm just going to finish up by asking, do you use any social networks to support your reading? And see what it tells me here. So here again, Tom is saying that he uses Goodreads and then specific book focused forums. So again, in keeping with what we would expect, I've actually done quite a lot of research, as the case would have it, on data scientists early this year. And the one thing that came out of that is they were extremely forum focused. So this makes sense and aligns with other findings that I've had outside of this project. So yeah, that was a quick walkthrough of how I use the persona generator agent. I'll then take this data with my social listening data and create sort of pen portraits based on this, so I can really take it beyond my specific social listening insights and expand it into that broader audience, particularly for social platforms where we don't get a lot of access to the posts or any demographic data. So this is really useful for that. Thanks.